Tier list update 7th of September. What's up guys, Petko here. Finally, after the changes coming in, we are updating the tier list 1 month into the season so far. Many things have changed and I'm here to break it down exactly what's going up, what's going down, and what's the meta looking like right now at least. Alright, so following the bottom tiers, pretty much minimal changes. The only difference here is Fire Mage. Fire Mage, I believe, has scaled way better than what they were at the beginning of the season, especially in raid. I feel like Fire Mage right now is definitely a quite good single target, even in Mythic Plus. Overall rankings jumped a few spots up. Other than this, pretty disappointing, honestly. No changes for an Enhanced Shaman, which right now doing pretty bad. Affliction got nerfed a little bit here. Fury Warrior, by the way, has been having a quote-unquote new unannounced buffs, which makes them a lot better. If you are playing with the Brewmaster comb, Fury Warrior is gonna be absolutely must, meaning that you're probably gonna end up in best candidates if you play in that setup. So the only reason why you're comb dependent is because you're gonna be only being forced to play in a physical comps, which kind of sucks in my opinion. But other than this, same fundamental issues and struggles for Fury. However, damage-wise, most definitely not to be underestimated. On the contrary here, Arms Warrior, the only thing that I don't like about Arms is just single target. The AoE department of Arms is looking pretty juicy. Windwalker, forgotten spec. Nothing to say here. No changes. Absolutely zero fucks given them from Blizzard. Pretty disappointing. Oak Evoker, very minor buffs on single target. Doesn't really change the fact in Mythic Plus. They still suck. Play real DPS, don't bother with augmentation. Bear, nothing for Bear. Blood Decay, minor adjustments for Blood Decay, mostly damage buffs, and a little bit durability adjustments. Still a long way to go when it comes down to best tanks. Other than this here, no changes. Holy Priest went one tier up to A tier after the most recent buffs. Okay, so things on the other hand looking pretty serious here on A+. Balance Druid climbed from the bottom of A to the very top of A+, which obviously is going to be an advantage if you're playing balanced rate. I do believe that your single target got better right now. Your AoE has been looking still very, very strong. I don't like the fact that you are pretty much relying on playing very high keys in order for you to be good. Playing balance in low level keys can be a struggle, but once you can climb high enough, it looks to be pretty crazy. However, the only reason why balance was made last season because of utility, crazy AoE damage. Unfortunately, this time around, you don't have crazy AoE damage. Your AoE damage is really good, but it's not crazy. It's not like Destrolock or BM Hunter or Frost Decay, you know. You don't have Arcane Mage, Prio, or Funnel, so I think it's a good pickup, but needs a lot more to get to the S tier, in my opinion. Devastation Invoker, often underestimated spec. I believe one of the highest raw outputs among all range specs, which is definitely an advantage. Although the community perception, especially the negativity around it, could be troublesome. At times without cooldowns, you can definitely feel the damage it's lacking a little bit, but during cooldowns or in general, the raw package of devastation is just incredible. Single target wise, not too impressed honestly in Mythic Plus. I mean, at least in my opinion, they need a bit of adjustments on single target. Sadly, they've been ignored, at least as Flame Shaper so far. Nothing really to be adjusted. Pretty disappointing. Holy Paladin, one of the most underrated healers in my opinion. This is the favorite healer I like to play in Mythic Plus, especially the full pug. A lot of mob control, good healing now, decent DPS as well, immunity and CR. What else do you need, right? All right, let's talk about S tier. Before I get to the best candidate, let's talk about S tier. Currently, as you guys have seen in Mythic Plus, there's different tank setups. Protection Warrior, Protection Paladin, we've seen Brewmasters. I think the tank meta is not fully decided. We don't know exactly what looks to be the best tank so far because there's been no tank tuning. MBI should be coming very soon. Following that, there should be a lot more tuning coming in. Currently, those 4 tanks that are ahead, Prot Pally, Prot Warrior, Vengeance and Brewmaster, those 4 are significantly ahead compared to Blood Decay or Guardian. Either one of those 4 could be played. It all depends on the comp you're playing. Same thing is here for the Restoration Shaman against Restoration Druid. Currently, Ellie is absolutely crazy. So is Rest Shaman. If you don't have Rest Shaman, you play Ellie. If you have Rest Shaman, you don't play Ellie. Ellie fits more in a caster comps or hybrid comps, while Restoration Shaman fits a lot more in a physical comps. That's why Hunter, after the most recent buffs to pack leader, I believe on Wednesday forward, BM Hunter is gonna be the highest output spec across every single one of them. I know it sounds crazy, but I still think BM Hunter is gonna be very strong contender in Mythic Plus. And apparently in raiding, now that they're playing Dark Ranger, is accounting to be one of the highest swimming specs following the Wednesday buffs. Guess, yeah, I have nothing to say here about BM Hunters. Overall, I'm pretty surprised that a lot of people thought they're dead. I do remember specifically me talking about BM Hunter being very solid, and late into the game they're gonna scale very well with secondary stats, potentially being best candidate. I mean, it wasn't best candidates in talking about S tier. People kind of laughed about it, but now I'm happy that people are circling back and be like, oh shit, BM actually pumps. Yes, it does. And so is MM. Even though MM got nerfed, MM is still pumping big time. Don't worry about it. Mid to low level key is one of the best pickups. Although with the buff now to Beastmaster Hunter, question is, are you gonna be bothered playing MM? Perhaps in some keys, depends. But I think BM Hunter buffs are significant. Nothing to say about Frost Decay. It's been OP for the past, I don't know, since PTR day one. Still very strong pickup. Arcane Mage, I mean, is there anything to say? The best single target in the game, the best prior in the game, the best funnel in the game. Maybe Havoc has better funnel than Arcane, but Arcane is up there. So yeah, I think it's just crazy right now. And the best contenders is pretty much a category where either one of those specs can make it to the S tier. It all depends on the key level or dungeon difference or the comp you're playing. Once again, Asarok, even though has incredible damage profile, there's several buffs of Asarok that currently prevent them from being S tier. On top of that, their pure single target is not looking incredible. Sup, on the other hand, looking to be very strong pickup, and in some cases even better than Asarok. However, the funnel / prior damage is not as good as Asa, so maybe you want to alternate. And here comes Havoc DH. I mean, I told you guys Havoc Prio / funnel is gonna be crazy, and especially now that Prot Warrior is considered one of the best tanks, Prot Warrior Havoc combo is looking to be very strong. Last but not least, Red Paladin. Yes, I know people meme Red Paladin, laugh about them, this and that, they suck, but you cannot say, nothing bad about Reds right now. Short cities, very good bang on AoE, even better single target, by the way. The ST used to suck so much at the beginning, but now after several buffs, they do way better ST than before. Definitely not to be something to joke around, anytime soon. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the meta so far. We keep in mind we're like close like a month into the season, so it's still pretty fresh. Things are still tuning around. MDI is around the corner. The next class tuning will probably happen around the end of September, give or take, depending on when MDI is going to take place. And as soon as it does, I'll make a video as always. I keep you informed and update the tier list as much as needed. If you have any questions, feedback, let me guys down below. Let me know down below. And I'm going to head out to sleep. See you guys on stream. And thank you for watching. Bye for now.